This is Umar for BoxNation. It's been a while since I've been joined by Kevin Lerena, probably since May at Fury Usyk in Riyadh. So, how's life been, Kevin? The situation with yourself and Lawrence Okolie is still ongoing, but how are you all doing?
No, all good. Thanks, Umar. Just staying in the gym, staying ready. You never know when the call's going to come. Obviously, there's the ongoing situation with the Coley and but I'm keeping myself open to many options. Staying ready, staying hungry, and always working hard. Some big boxing coming up. So looking forward to it.
I saw WPC President Mauricio Suleiman put something out rather about yourself and Lawrence and that purse bid situation. So, to your knowledge, what is going on currently?
To be honest, I think there's been a little bit of backwards and forth in terms of the contracts and in terms of trying to get the fight made without Perspert. So I'm not sure what's happening on our Coley side, to be totally honest. We want to do the fight. So we just got to be patient, I guess. I can't really tell you much as to what's happening. So I'm not sure what's happening on Lawrence's side. I don't ask those personal questions. So I'm not sure, to be honest.
Okay. What are the other options for yourself, Kevin?
To be honest, I think the right direction would have been to fight Lawrence Okolie for the bridgerweight world title because I'm the interim champion. He's the world champion. But if that fight doesn't materialize, I think there's a lot of big fights to be made. I need to be patient in a sense of, obviously I need to get another good big win. And the fight with Huni was very close. I don't think I lost. I'll tell you again, and I allude to the fact I don't think I lost, but there's a loss on my record. So I need to get the W back. So I fancy a fight with Jared Anderson, to be honest. I think it will be a very good fight, to be honest with you. I think he's come off a loss. I've come off a loss. We should meet and we could fight. Maybe they wouldn't look at it. They were looking to fight me maybe 2 or 3 fights back. So maybe now's the right time. Why don't we do Lerena or Anderson on one of the Saudi cards if the Okolie fight can't be made? But I don't see how the Cody fight can't be made too. So I'm open to options. I'm really open to options, and I just want to get back in the ring and do what I do best. Do what I do best.
Why did you beat Lawrence Okolie? Sum it up, Kevin.
Why or how?
No, why?
Why? Look, I must be honest. I've always rated Lawrence Okolie. I can't trash talk the guy. I think what he's done for his career and his story is absolutely phenomenal. To be totally honest with you, we both got a story. We both got a good story to tell, and everybody, in fact, has a story. But why do I beat him? I believe I'm a lot more awkward and robust and difficult than he thinks I am with the skill set that I bring to the ring. It's a different type of fight for anybody. I'm not a conventional type fighter. Obviously, being a southpaw, tricky, explosive. At any given time, I can hurt a man. But I believe that I beat Lawrence Okolie because my mind and the way that I fight is difficult and different for his style. To be honest, that's what I think. He might think the same too for me. So that's what makes it a good fight, right?
100%.
But I have all the respect in the world for Lawrence too. There's no disrespect towards him. He's a phenomenal competitor. What he did at cruiserweight and his whole life story is inspiring. But at the end of the day, this is business, and we mandated to fight each other. So friends out the ring, in the ring, we must go to war. I'm ready to go to war. I'm ready to do what I do best. I always put on an exciting fight. You guys know that in the UK. You yourself know that. I haven't been in a boring fight in front of you, have I?
No, I've only been to your fights with Dubois and Hooney, and they're both bloody exciting.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
especially the Dubois one. We will come on to that in a sec. But you mentioned Jared Anderson there, which is interesting. I didn't really expect that to come my way in this interview. But aside from him, not trying to call anyone out or being disrespectful, but is there any other names in the heavyweight division that you go realistically we could make that fight?
Look, I think there's always big fights to be made. Realistically, what fights could be made? Lerena versus Otto Wallin. I think
Yeah.
that's a good fight. Otto is coming off a loss against AJ. I think Otto Wallin's a good fighter. I believe that I could beat him. You got obviously, we've got to be realistic in terms of where we're at right now. I can't overshoot and say, well, I'd love a rematch with Daniel Dubois because Daniel Dubois worked very hard to get to where he is. He's the IBF world champion and he had to come through a lot of adversity since he fought me and um, since he beat Jarrell Miller and questionably dropped Usyk, to be honest. And since he beat Hrgovic, he's done a lot. So it's hard for me to say, well, I want the rematch with Dan, because it's kind of, unsettled. He's come on from that and he's done big things. So we'll have to see what happens with Daniel versus AJ. But
I
those are
think
the
Anderson and
realistically, I think
Wallin are two good shouts. Anderson and Wallin, that actually makes sense. So those two are
it
good
does
shouts.
make sense, right? Put it this way. If you look at the realistic matchmaking, the realities of matchmaking, we're both all top 20s in the world. I think Jared Anderson is, to be honest. I'm not sure where he's ranked now, but he's a good fighter, big amateur pedigree. Otto Wallin, a very good fighter, southpaw too. Got very big names on his record, a very credible guy. We all three of us are coming off a loss, right? So now I'm sure all three of us want to get back in the win column. So I put my hand up. I say, well, I'll fight either one of you. No problem. I've always been that if in boxing, if you want to be the best and reach the top, you got to beat everyone. So, like I'm sure Jared Anderson wanted to beat Martin Bakoli. I want to beat Jared Anderson. I want to beat Otto Wallin to show that I can get back to the top 10. What happened with Daniel Dubois in 2020 has happened. It's a thing of the past. 2020, 2022. We can't keep going back to that. We're now in 2024, and we continuously as fighters have to prove ourselves over and over again. That's what we do, and that's what the entertainment is about. So I'm very open to a Jared Anderson and Otto Wallin in the heavyweight realm, but also Lawrence Okolie. I mean, I'm not objective to fighting for the WBC bridgerweight world title. I think me and Lawrence Okolie is a very good fight. It's a very exciting fight. But yeah, we have to wait and see. I'm patient, to be honest, Umar. I'm impatient, but it gets to a point where you've got to start calling out names and making fights happen. So I'm ready for whoever.
100%. As I said to you before we started this, anticipation is really building in this country, in the UK, for Joshua Dubois. Only 2 weeks to go now. No better man to speak to about this fight really than yourself, because you had that enthralling short fight with Dubois, where it was very surprising actually that he came out with his hand raised in that fight. You had him in all sorts of trouble. When you break this fight down, Kevin, having shared a bit of time with ring time with Daniel, how much of a chance realistically do you give him against Anthony Joshua?
No, I give him a chance, of course. Definitely. It's not just such a thing as a puncher's chance in the heavyweight division. I do give him a chance. He's a strong guy. To be honest, Anthony Joshua was a phenomenal fighter, and I rate AJ highly. Super athletic, very strong, explosive. But if I look at, if we had to go and break it down, it's truly a 50-50 fight. The reason why I say that is because it sounds cliche, but both guys can punch. Both guys are good finishers, okay? And there's no such thing as who can take the better shot in the heavyweight division. A good chin in the heavyweight division is a chin that doesn't get hit. So the thing is, it can go either way. It can be a fight of two halves, an AJ half, a Daniel Dubois half. You got to put respect on both those fighters' names, because they're both very strong, incredible, legitimate heavyweight world champions. Having shared the ring with Daniel, obviously he punches hard. He's a very strong puncher, but so is Anthony Joshua. And if you look at what Anthony Joshua has done since he's joined up with Ben Davidson, it's been destructive. He's really, really done what he needs to do, and I think they're gelling as a duo, Ben Davidson and AJ. And I think it's going to be hard for Daniel. But in the same light, look what Don Charles has done for Daniel Dubois.
Yeah.
So it's literally it's so even. When I say evenly matched, it's a fight that can go either way at any given time. Don Charles has really brought the best out of Daniel Dubois. I think Daniel Dubois has come into himself a lot. So he's riding the crest of the wave. Both fighters' confidence is sky high. I mean, AJ's come off 2 big wins. He beat Wallin. He beat Francis Ngannou in style. And look at Daniel Dubois. Since he fought me and got through that adversity, he fought Usyk in a questionable fight. He could have dropped the guy. He could have won. Was a bit unlucky. But also, it was a fight of two halves. The first half was Daniel. The second half was Usyk. You can't take it away from Usyk. Usyk's a phenomenal fighter and the undisputed heavyweight world champion. He then went on to beat Jarrell Miller. When it got hard and it got tough, he dug deep. And then he went on and beat Hrgovic. So if you're looking at the last 3 fights for each fighter, Daniel Dubois has had the better quality of opponents. So in terms of, if you had to say who's got the perfect preparation leading into this fight, I would say Daniel Dubois. But you take each fight for what it is, fight by fight. So now it's Dubois AJ. So the Dubois versus Usyk, the Dubois versus Hrgovic is out the window. It's done. The AJ versus Ngannou, the AJ versus Valen is done. You've got to take each fight for what it is in front of you. So that's why it's a 50-50 fight. I can't stick my neck out and say AJ. I can't stick my neck out and say Daniel Dubois. But what I can tell you, it's a very good fight for the boxing fans. And I really, really mean that.
Spoke to a lot of heavyweights who said that Daniel's jab is very underrated, and we know how good of a jab Anthony Joshua has as well.
Yeah.
In the early rounds, do you expect that to be a key factor in the fight? Who can land that jab and be more effective with it?
Yeah, I think, it's who states his authority first, to be honest. I've obviously never shared the ring with AJ, but it's obvious what a type of fighter he is. He's a class act, he's a class fighter, he's very strong. Having shared the ring with Daniel, I did say, actually, I said the other day, he's got a very good jab. If I think back, like when I was in the fight, I was saying to myself, fuck, excuse my language, I was just like, his jab's irritating me. And that's what actually alluded to me using my left hand, because I said I'm going to catch his jab or catch his hook and counter with the left, and that's how I dropped him. To be honest, I said, I was trying my best to find my range, but because he was keeping me at bay with his jab, which was quite irritating, that's when I said, you know what, I'm going to counter his jab with my left hand or his left hook with my left hand, and that's essentially what dropped him. But in the fight, I remember clearly, I said, his jab is irritating me. I need to change my levels. I'm in no man's land because his jab was finding me and was irritating me. It was a very good jab. And if a jab irritates you, it means it's a good jab, you know. And I think it's deceptive the way he throws it. So, yeah, I think, but having said that, Anthony Joshua is also a very rangy fighter, and he gets a lot of leverage on his long right hand, on his backhand. And I think that is the key for AJ in this fight because, to be honest and transparent, Daniel can't take shots like he took from Hrgovic against Anthony Joshua. He ate a lot of fights in the Hrgovic fight. He showed a lot of grit and a lot of determination and durability, but you can't take those type of shots against Anthony Joshua. So that's why I'm saying in the heavyweight division, a good chin is a chin that doesn't get hit. Had my chin not gotten hit against Daniel, I probably would have won. But then I got caught, So a good chin's a chin that doesn't get chinned. So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm going to say. It's a 50-50 fight, and the chin that doesn't get hit on the night will be the one that's victorious.
It's a fantastic breakdown. Just before I let you go, someone that you've become quite close to, shared a whole training camp with in Tyson Fury for his previous fight against Alexander Usyk. Very close on the night, didn't go his way. In the rematch, what needs to be different, Kevin, for him to overwrite that wrong?
Listen, Tyson's a seasoned, we can call him a seasoned veteran. He's a world champion, former world champion. He's been around a very long time. He will know what he needs to do to make it different. It's all good and well us guys from the outside saying, well, I think he should do this, this, and this in order to beat Usyk. Only he will know. But what I can say, once again, it was a fight of two halves, right? In the first half, or until Tyson got buzzed by that left hand, a lot of it was Tyson Fury. Tyson was doing great things, finding Usyk with the uppercuts. And I even said in sparring, I said to my trainer, I said, if Tyson throws that right uppercut, he's going to find Usyk, because when I was sparring, I found like if there's a shot that's going to land you from Tyson, it's the right uppercut if you're staying down there in the middle and you're not getting off the center line. And that's the shot that I think that he was catching Usyk with and showing good authority. But that's one shot. That's not what makes a fight. I think Tyson can win the rematch. I'm behind Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury and his team were so good to me. Obviously I've teamed up with Spencer Brown. He's co-managing me, and his team have only treated me well. So I'll always back Tyson, and I'm fully supporting him. But can he beat Usyk in the rematch? Most definitely. I do think he can, because we saw how close the first fight was. I do think he'll need to make a few changes, but only he'll know. He'll know exactly what he needs to do. He's been around for a very long time, and it makes for a good trilogy if he wins, right? So I think Can he win? Yes. Will he win? It won't be easy, but if he makes the necessary adjustments, I do believe he will win. They're both not spring chickens, you know. We in the late 30s. I think Tyson's 36 and I think Usyk's 38. I stand to be corrected, but they're both mature heavyweights, you know. So they're not in their 20s. So you can't say youth on the one side, this is on the other side. They're both very experienced fighters and have gone through a lot of fighting. Their pedigrees are strong. So both of them will know what they'll have to do to be better on the night. And then you leave it up to them and their respective teams. But obviously, I'm in Tyson Fury's camp. It would be great to get out there and spar with him again and give him nice hard sparring to help him prepare for the undisputed fight.
Kevin, thank you very much for your time. Look forward to your ring return because, as you said in this interview, it's always exciting when you entered that ring. So, yeah, thank you very much, and hopefully, you'll make the trip from South Africa to London for Joshua Dubois.
I like to. I got the visa. I got a visa and everything, so I might as well utilize it, eh? And get out there
Yeah,
and support the guys and see you guys.
100%. It will be a packed Wembley Stadium, 97,000 people. So you won't want to miss that, Kevin.
Unreal, unreal. I'll be there.
Hopefully, see
Count
you
me
there.
in.
God bless. Thank you.
Take good care, brother. Bye bye.